Guys, I don't know what it is. I'm really hyper. Poor Dave has been having to sit here next to me while I've done the weird in the yeah. Mind you, he was wringing his hands because of something I said about a name earlier. So,
yeah, you are not Michael Che. I'm not Colin Jost. This is not Weekend Update. So we're gonna stop right now.
That was a very, very good way to start. What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new edition, another edition, your favorite edition. Actually, they're all great. So, well, you can never pick one. But we are here, Geek Sci-Fi. We are live on YouTube, on Twitch, on our own website. Hopefully you guys have had a chance to visit the beautiful website. We use a little something called bleeped it out because they're not paying us, but they're cool people.
It's a very pretty website.
It is a very pretty website. All our bios are up there if you guys want to find out more information about us. All our socials are there, and you can click and get access to all of our video content. It'll take you to the different pages. And there's also an audio player. And one of the advantages that I've realized, if you go and you're listening to the YouTube and you close your phone, you can still get it to play with the screen closed from our website. It's one of those weird loopholes. I know people have always wanted that feature. Mm-hmm. And weirdly enough, our podcast on our page does it.
Other way to do it, I found out, is if you have an Android phone and you're able to do like two screens at once.
Oh, yeah, I am able to do that.
So if you're able to do that, you could still have it running on YouTube and then have it on that second screen and then like turn off your phone and it's still acting as if it's an active screen.
Oh, all right. Loopholes, baby. Didn't know. That's really good to know.
That's what we're here for, hacks.
There you go. People, check it out. Visit us at geekcypha.com, GEEKCYPHA. Folks, we have a great episode. There's a bunch of stuff, but I'm going to start it off with a comment someone sent me regarding Jaws and Dave's, aka Merck's, comments on Cena's heel turn.
Oh.
Hey, Brian. Watched your Cena heel turn clip. Very good resume by your two friends. But being a nerd of wrestling, a few things. Rey Mysterio was sort of a heel when he was in the faction Filthy Animals in WWC. Ricky Steamboat and Tito Santana were also babyfaces and probably many others with shorter careers. Cena actually had a bit of a heelish moment when he won his Elimination Chamber match. Seth Rollins stomped the head of CM Punk and Cena rushed to put his chokehold on him. Usually he would wait and stand there for a while because he would wonder if it would be the fair move. That surprised me at the time. It happened and I thought something was off. And I guess Cena will change his theme. It was then he sent me a sample of the song that it was themed for, the theme of. So all that to say, supposedly the energy of the heel was coming. He described it to me later on that because usually, and you guys are wrestling fans, so you'd be able to tell me. Usually, a wrestler, if they're a babyface and they're about to do something that seems somewhat unfair, they'll hesitate because it's like, should I do it for the greater good? Should I be the hero right now? And then they'll do it. But the fact that he didn't hesitate was signs of a slight heelish turn.
Well, I mean, to say a slight heelish turn and then like 5 minutes later he does a heel turn. I mean, yes. I wouldn't say that's always the case that's how it is now. I feel that acknowledgement is a bit more passe. Although, yes, I do. If it's in the context of what was going on, everyone in that match specifically had like. Usually when you go into an Elimination Chamber match, they're like, oh yeah, some people just want to go to WrestleMania. And then there's like that one person that needs to make it to WrestleMania. Everyone in that chamber, with the exception of maybe Logan Paul, everyone in that match needed to get to WrestleMania. They all have like a year plus story, a year plus in some cases, like John Cena, however many years is his career, CM Punk, at least 10 years have passed, plus however many years he was in WWE where he didn't do WrestleMania. Seth Rollins for the crazy year that he had. Same thing goes for Drew McIntyre. So although, yes, I could see that, that's very observant, but I do find that, like, that's like subject to opinion, let's say.
Okay.
I'll put it that way. I'm not saying he's wrong, but I'm not saying it's like a make or break. When it comes to Rey Mysterio, using Filthy Animals, they were like the anti-villain, anti-hero. So like, I know what he's talking about in the sense that when Filthy Animals started as a faction, they did do heel-ish stuff, but based off of actual interactions with fans and stuff, and because you have Lash LaRue, Rey Mysterio, Booker T, they had whichever really cute girl at the time that was there. I forget her name, and I don't want to mistaken because I remember it's like kind of a debaucherous name. And I think they had like Hugh Morris. So you have a stable of 5 people, of which 4 of them are blatant baby faces since they've been in the company. Like,
it's hard to say they're heels if they're
like if people still like DX were heels until people started cheering them. NWO was the heels until people started cheering them. Like,
well, aren't they still? Wait, are they not considered heels if people cheer for them? Just because someone cheers for you.
But I mean, when I was using that analogy, I mean going from like "boo, you suck" to cheering you because we like you and you're doing good guy stuff. Like DX, for sure DX is just like really good wrestlers such as Bret Hart, Undertaker, The Rock, Kurt Angle, Sting. Well, not Sting in this scenario. Chris Jericho. All these are people who, at any point in time, they could go from face to heel and back and forth.
All right.
And DX is definitely the group equivalent of that. Although you could easily say that for the first few years, they were obviously heels because of where they were in the company. At some point, it did become them versus Vince McMahon, and everyone hated Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon is the one heel that's always truly ever just been a heel. He did the only time he was a face is when he basically gave matches to people that the fans wanted to see, which is not really being a face as much as it is like directing story.
All right, Jaws, your thoughts?
I can kind of see that. I don't know if people would be very quick to catch that. Like, that's weird. Like John Cena jumped in on that. And I can see what he means by that. So I kind of do agree with what's stated. I know there was a match between Bret Hart and 123 Kid. So this is when 123 Kid was like the new character. And he's just new character, whatever, blah blah blah. But like Bret Hart was the champion, and there was moments where the 123 Kid would get one up on Bret Hart, and Bret Hart's like, "Whoa, what the heck's going on?" And then he would kind of do some heelish stuff, like he would really work on his leg and this and that. And the storytelling is not just the people on the microphones; it's always what's going on in the ring as well.
Right.
So if you're a big enough wrestling fan, you can kind of see some heelish moments here and there, or when a champion or a character is feeling the pressure and they're gonna have to cheat a little bit to kind of get ahead and use that on their side. Like there's a lot of times in either sports animes or even sports TV shows where someone does a foul, but obviously the ref doesn't see it, and you're like, no, keep playing, and you're like, no, ref, I got fouled, and it's like, well, I didn't see it. I can't call something I did not see. So that's also something to
speaking of Cena, once then you said the second time, like, I can't do it.
So I because you brought him up. We were talking about him, but you brought him up. So for those of you who are listening, we put a picture of John Cena. Someone made 2 pictures of John Cena. There's a picture of him with long hair and a beard. He looks almost Macho Man Randy Savage-ish.
Yeah.
And then one on the right is bald and no beard and no nothing.
And just shades.
And shades, true. Yeah,
he's trying to be the White Rock. That's
pretty much. And I posted to our story asking people, where do you lean for Cena's heel turn? Would you rather see Cena go beard and long hair or go completely bald? What thoughts? I want to ask the podcast crew. What are your thoughts on this? Which heel turn Cena would you prefer to see?
Has to be bald, because first of all, the one on the one with hair, he'll be too jolly. He'll like kind of be like a young Santa Claus.
Yeah,
I feel
he's too handsome.
Oh, okay. I didn't think he was handsome, but okay.
And
I'm saying he's too handsome for.
It's like a Henry Cavill with a beard and long hair.
That's exactly what he looks like. Whereas the one, the bald one, he legit looks exactly like how The Rock. Like, it's funny because there's a wrestler, I forget his name at the moment, but there was a wrestler people used to call him the Black Cena, because he looked exactly like Cena, but just he was African American. What's his name? You guys, Darren something?
Darren Young?
Yes.
Yeah.
He
Wow.
looked exactly like that. I heard that from plenty of podcasts or this and that. Like as a joke, I was like, that's super
I only
not
know that name
appropriate.
because when I posted the picture of myself pretending that I got the Cena haircut, one of the comments was Darren Young ?
Exactly.
And I
You
wrote,
should definitely
case in
put up a
point.
picture.
and I was just
Darren
like,
Young.
I was like, I don't think I look like Darren Young in this, but I guess you guys are just randomly saying.
But what's funny
All I
is,
did was I typed in Black Cena, and then you're getting a
Oh,
bunch of
no.
comparison photos.
see, but am I wrong? Like, is
No,
it
you're
wrong?
not
Wrong?
wrong.
It's not a
It's
wrong
pretty funny.
comparison, and there's no other way to say it. I'm sorry. But the funny thing is, like, what Darren Young is doing to Cena in that photo, I feel like Cena is doing to The Rock with the photo that you just put up on the screen.
Oh
Which
my-
is just
there's-
ridiculous. Somehow,
seen
50
that
degrees
article.
of separation, Darren Young looks like The Rock by definition. Or he will when he's much older.
There's an actual CNN article. John Cena posts his black twin dubbed Jamal Cena. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh,
Jamal
the
Cena.
internet is the stupidest place on earth. I don't necessarily think this guy looks like
It-
Cena,
no,
Find
but
the other
you have-
picture.
You have to do. There's better pictures because it's,
Oh, there's
it's,
better
it's,
pictures?
like when
Okay.
it's like when they're in wrestling attire and they're all.
Just Google Black Cena and you'll see.
I
like,
did.
they
when
have
I
the-
googled
they-
Black Cena, that's the one that came up. That's why I
They
picked it.
have the
Select the
exact same
images.
physique.
I mean, there's this. I mean,
No, send Josh. Send
yeah,
it in the chat.
send us the
Send
one you
your-
found in the
yeah,
chat.
because like
in the
it's-
meantime, I gotta say, I don't know that I think Cena with the bald is the best idea. I personally think the Cena with the hair and the beard,
really?
only because
Wait, is
I
I
don't
don't
think
British next.
I've
Like-
never seen him with the
Facial hair.
hair. Yeah, no, I did
that-
see this picture, but this picture, are you sure that's the same guy?
Is
Yeah,
that the only reason though?
That he looks British? I
No,
know
that
Dave.
you haven't seen him with hair.
Yeah, I haven't seen him with the hair and the beard before, so I want to see a completely different look as opposed to a buzz cut and a clean face. If you're gonna go heel and this is the opposite, like this is an embodiment of a different persona, I want to see something actually different as opposed to his eyebrows and hair look a little darker and he now doesn't smile. It's like, okay, Santa Claus, you look sad. Good for you, you know?
I think he's honestly just gonna go like corporate thug style. Like I feel like he's just gonna be like acting exactly like The Rock, but also trying to push in some of that thugonomic stuff he used to do.
Right.
Oh God,
Just to be rude. Just to be rude. Just to be rude.
I can't imagine he could get away with that now.
Word
What,
life.
He was just rapping.
I mean, it was cultural appropriation, and a lot of people.
I
Think
know, but I'm talking about like if he does it just that doesn't use the thugonomics, if he just raps is what I meant.
Yeah, I don't want it. I don't want
But that's
any.
exactly why
I don't
you
know. Is
should
it
do it
cultural
because you don't
appropriation
want
to
it.
just have Bumpy Knuckles and like Ninth Wonder as your people that are working on the thing with you.
Sorry. What'd you say?
I think his regular intro, I think Bumpy Knuckles is on that, right? And then I think the Thug Life one. I think one of his songs, Ninth Wonders, is the producer on that.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm happy he can work with black people. It's still cultural appropriation, though. Brian
was-
Austin Green working with Will.i.am and doing a hip hop album in the '90s. Still cultural appropriation. I don't care
I'm
that
not
he
saying
worked with
Will.i.am.
Will.i.am.
I'm saying
Oh my God.
Ninth Wonder. There's a very big difference
yeah,
between
but,
Will.i.am
I mean,
and Ninth Wonder.
in the Jaws, it's a scenario you're painting. As long as the cultural appropriation is with a talented person, it's not cultural appropriation. I don't know if that counts, buddy. I don't think that's how it works.
You're not
Oh
just
my
like, oh,
God.
we just want the black dude, and then he just kind of samples Rhythm of the Night or other song, just really not even trying to sample.
You know
it.
what though? I'll give you credit because Eminem has been cultural appropriation this entire time, but because he worked with Dr. Dre, we all said icon. So I guess you're not wrong. If you work with the right black
Wow.
person.
Hey,
Wow,
how
clip
is it-
this and let's
what
see how
about-
quick we
but
get
what about
shot
him
in the
working with
streets.
50 Cent. He was the one that no one wanted to pull in 50 Cent. He was the only one that brought in 50 Cent, but maybe that was subterfuge.
Wait, what? Who?
By the West Coast.
Eminem. Eminem's the one that gave 50 Cent his
Oh,
shot.
right.
But he
Yeah.
did that because he was a white boy who was afraid he was going to get shot. So there you go. Cultural appropriation again. There we go.
No, that's not.
I
what it
mean-
was.
Oh my God.
No one wanted
Oh
to
my
work with
God.
50 Cent. Everyone hated 50 Cent in the East
mean,
Coast.
Let's rewind because we are erasing an aspect of 50 Cent. 50 Cent actually did have a deal. He was supposed to work on a track with J-Lo and he got shot 9 times and then they put Ja Rule on the track. And that's why 50 didn't have that shot. So he ended up having to wait. No one wanted to work with him at the time because they were worried that he was too hip hop and they were worried about his affiliations. That's why he wasn't getting the same love.
Really? I thought
That's actually what happened.
I thought they reached out. Well, what's his name? Tom Mottola reached out to Gotti.
I mean, I have
hey, you did a song with Mariah or not Mariah. What's her name? The girl that was writing all the songs for JLo. Basically, we want a song like that. Do you know what I'm talking?
I only know the story 50 has told, so I don't know which story you're talking about.
I didn't even know he was supposed to work with JLo.
Yeah, it's like, dude, look up why 50 Cent hates Ja Rule.
I thought it was more to it than that. I thought because that's not the story that everyone.
He was supposed to be on that track and got really pissed when he got replaced. It's a huge aspect. He's talked about it in interviews. He's talked about it on his on the documentary CD that came with Get Rich or Die Trying. And he continues to hate Ja Rule to this day. It's fucking crazy. The man buys out rows of Ja Rule's concerts because he's still upset with it. It's one of the wildest. Shit. It is the pettiest thing.
Wow.
And the funny part is, 50, you won.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna like. Who?
Yeah, Ja Rule. Ja Rule's latest claim to fame is Fire Island. That he was a part of that. Like, dude.
Didn't he become like a monk or something? Or like, was he?
No, that's not him.
No, that's Mace.
Mace became a priest.
Mace
not
became a priest, and there was another guy, Loon
converted to Islam.
Yeah.
Everyone that has worked with Diddy has gone back to God to clean themselves of the sins.
Oh my God.
Craig Mack. But he went to like a crazy cultist kind of Christianity kind of person.
You can only feel so clean after you've hung out with someone who's sleeping with the devil. On that wonderfully powerful note, discussing the devil, Daredevil. I'll say this about Daredevil because Dave didn't watch it and I don't want to go into it for too long. But speaking of the devil, you got to see it, Ness?
Oh, I'm not up to date. I was going to say I'm not up to date.
So there.
Yeah, no, this isn't a spoiler. I would just say this. For the latest episode 3, it felt like I was watching the back end of an old school Law & Order episode.
Oh,
and that's not a good thing. I shouldn't feel like I'm watching the back end of a legal procedural, where people are walking around a courtroom and I'm like, all right, when are we going to get to the Daredevil part of this and not the murder part of this? And that's how it felt. Now, don't get me wrong. If people like table setting, that's fair. I'm hoping if you like table setting that this felt good for you, because it didn't feel good to me. I didn't enjoy it. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I mean it with all my heart. Please stop making boring episodes. Oh, sorry. Did that come out?
So no, Brian clearly doesn't like fillers. Filler.
I don't like filler.
And the funny thing, this is only like a 10th of his Shazam power of 8.
It's only just begun.
God, it will get better because I can in my head it can only go up from what they did.
So you're telling me that this episode was the equivalent of a rock bottom scenario. That the only trajectory that you can go is up. That's how bad this episode was to you?
Yes. I watched the episode, and throughout the whole episode, I was annoyed with all the decisions characters were making.
That's
and
3?
Yeah,
4?
Yeah.
The hollow in the hand or something.
Okay. And
ultimately, I felt that if we are going to move forward with the show, they need to. Honestly, again, I really did feel like I was watching the back end of a Law & Order episode, like old school Law & Order, where, I was explaining to Dave before the podcast, procedurals, especially Law & Order, had that old school format of like the first 30 minutes is the cop side and the back 30 was the law side. So this whole episode felt like I was watching legit a back half of a Law & Order episode. We're in court. There's a lot of shock and awe moments, and people just interacting in a courtroom, and people trying to make sure other people are where they need to be. And I was just like, okay, cool. Didn't love it. It didn't really spark joy. Who's that lady that tells you if it doesn't spark joy to throw it out?
Oh no.
Tran, Maria Tran or something.
No, just Japanese name.
Oh, I said it correctly.
But
My apologies.
she's given that up. She has a child now. Can't do it.
Oh, damn.
Can't throw out things in it.
Yeah, the baby doesn't spark joy. Whoop.
She has a baby now. Not about that life no more.
But yeah, so I watched the episode, and there were just moments where it felt like this does not spark joy. I am not enjoying the direction you're taking, the story format you're telling, the predictability of the things that are happening, and I was just genuinely disappointed with it. And I think that, and what I feel is back to what I said a couple weeks ago. I really do believe that these are the episodes they made that were part of the original version that everyone said, no, we can't just make a show like this. We got to rework it. So I'm hoping that what I saw was the tail end of that element and that they're going to move forward with the stuff they made after.
Yeah, I was going to say, I hope this doesn't mean it's going to go downhill from here.
I honestly don't think so. I really think I got the weakest, like they got the weakness out. When you're sick and people tell you get the sickness out, get the weak out, get the.
Well, maybe it's one of those things where like it's like one of their bad episodes that they had to just swoop in there.
100%.
This is the Jubilee and Storm episode.
Head.
Oh damn!
What'd you say?
This man said it's the Jubilee and Storm episode from X-Men '97.
Not even saying it, I'm making the claim. Just by what you guys are saying.
He's outright just insulting everyone, is what he's saying. That Jubilee part
Sure.
wasn't that bad.
You're right. It just was Storm.
Rude.
Honestly,
Rude.
anyways, we all know Storm did not get her due. We know that.
They did injustice. That's not on the
I would
drawing
assume-
person's part.
Ooh,
I
we
would
got
assume-
Eva
I
was
would
nice
assume-
enough to hit us with the answer.
was-
Marie Kondo. Thank you
There we
very
go.
much, Eva.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, didn't spark joy. Didn't spark joy.
No
Maybe
joy.
that'll be the name of this clip. 'cause
No joy here.
No joy. No joy. Oh, I know a band named No Joy. They're great. Anyways,
I was gonna say just real quickly,
Yeah.
anytime they underpower someone is because they would just wreck everything and they have to get rid of them somehow.
yeah. Well, we saw it with Thor and Hulk. Both of them were sent off into space randomly when the Civil War happened, because God forbid either one of them had been on either side. Civil War
Would
is a
have been
We get
completely
one time with both of them.
I think Cap. They both would have sided with Cap probably.
I think so. But I've always said I thought the Cap side was a little weaker than the Tony side.
Who did Cap have on his side?
Cap had him, Bucky, Black Widow,
Oh yeah,
Falcon.
but he had Scarlet.
He had Scarlet Witch, yes.
Which, if they hadn't nerfed her in the comics, in the movies, anyways, let's not discuss.
Yeah.
We're
going
going
too
on
many tangents
dangerous tangent.
Yeah, no.
We did have news, but I did want to ask Ness, did you have a series or show you wanted to hit up first? Because we do have quite a bit of news.
Well,
And,
I mean, I don't know if you guys are watching them.
The shows and movies?
That's
that
why
I'm
you bring
watching,
that's why you bring it to the table so that we could learn.
Present
Well,
your wonderful idea.
Lately, I've been watching the White Lotus.
Oh, yay!
I've heard good things of this.
I've been hearing everyone at work talk about it, and they're all upset that I haven't started watching it yet because they want to. They all like. I have to put my headphones on so they can go into spoiler mode because they heavy start talking about it. Do not fear. I don't care. Feel free
No,
to.
I was
spoil
gonna
it.
say I'm not spoiling anything. I was gonna say,
Oh, well, that's half
for
the fun.
you, knowing you, Brian, I don't feel like you would like it.
Oh no!
Oh, that's funny. People
No,
at
you
work
should
want
watch
you to
it then,
suffer.
Brian, 'cause, I
Meanwhile,
mean, you've already-
Ness here is like,
Joss is about to throw an insult. I feel the
You
shade
should
already.
watch it, Brian, because that means all your hard work of watching Aquaman 2 and Shazam 2 and any other crap DC movie that you already know that you don't like the whole franchise because it's going to be rebooted, but you're still watching it anyways.
Have to.
Totally watch it.
Have to. I will watch all of them, dagnabbit, every last minute, and I will love it as I hate it.
James Gunn, I
will
don't
love it
like
as I
what
hate
you're
it.
doing with the universe.
I don't.
I really don't. Day
Oh.
one.
Hey, facts.
Rate the ticket.
So
Oh, free tickets, by the way. I'm covered.
you're saying, people at work are saying that you would like it, or they're
Oh,
just
no,
telling you to watch it?
they haven't said. Yeah, difference. They've said to watch it. They haven't told me I would like it or not.
Okay.
I don't think they're analyzing whether or not I would if I would like it. They're just saying they love watching it so far. Everyone is still saying the same thing about Mike White, which I'm very happy to hear, that he is one of the most consistent writers. He's able to write 3 series. This is the 3rd in the series of the White Lotus franchise. It's an anthology style show but it's not really an anthology. It's technically, it is the same show because characters come back. It's just that they're at different resorts. So in the sense that it's an anthology that the cast changes, but
what do you mean the characters come back?
Well, Natasha, what's her name, is back from season 1. The black woman from Issa Rae show. Insecure.
She was in season 1. I don't even remember that.
Damn. Yeah, she's
It was a while ago.
I love that he hasn't watched the show and he's.
I only know because she's in the posters.
No, I'm just laughing.
Yeah, she's in the posters for the series, and I was happy to hear she was coming back.
No, but I don't even remember her in the first season.
Oh damn! Yeah, she's the one that. What's Stifler's mom's name again?
Oh, yes.
Jennifer Coolidge. Jennifer Coolidge says, "Oh yeah, I love you, honey. I'm gonna give you the money to open up your own business. We're gonna work together." And then doesn't give her anything.
I didn't even realize that. That's so funny. It's been a while though since the first season. So I watched so many things in between. So I didn't even realize. But that makes sense.
What is Natasha Roswell? What's her last name? I always forget.
I was gonna say shout out to Doc though, because when his coworkers start talking about it, he doesn't just shut them all down and say stop talking. He just puts on his headphones.
I put my headphones on,
and lets them talk about the show.
Yeah, dude.
Doesn't interrupt nothing. Dude. Shout out to you, man. More people need to be like that.
Yeah, honestly, that's actually very fair. Whenever people at your office are talking about a TV show you haven't watched, don't do the thing of hey, spoilers and start acting all weird and rude. Put headphones on. Yeah, but you had headphones and you could put the headphones on.
Actually, no, but I would never be like, no, don't say anything. Like I would kind of be like, wait, and then like walk
exactly.
away.
No, that's fine. The wait or putting the headphones on, appreciated.
Everyone
the people who get mad
talking while I'm in my presence.
Yeah, no, I'm not about that life.
People who get mad too on like social media when they see things, it's like, what do you like?
Get off the internet.
Yeah.
You can't control social media.
Folks,
you're gonna post and say.
Folks, we got to remind you. So I think we talked about this a couple years ago on the podcast about spoiler culture, and at the time, it used to be a week. Because this is years ago. But guys, it's now not even a full weekend. Like a movie can come out on Thursday, Friday, and by Sunday, I'm seeing articles from famous trades like Variety, The Hollywood Reporter, Deadline, talking about things that have happened in a movie that came out 2 days ago.
I'm surprised you're giving that much time because I would say it's within hours because of meme culture though.
I'm talking about the trades. I'm talking about the trades. Okay. You're right. You're right.
Spoiler culture. If you're gonna see
100%.
serious spoilers, sorry, that was a bit of a tongue twister for me. The memes, they ruin things instantly unless you're not educated about what you're seeing in the image, but usually that's not the case.
My friends are going to be annoyed because I didn't tell them, and we were maybe all going to go see it, but I saw Mickey 17 already. And my friend, I was supposed to go with my friends. I'm sorry, guys. I know.
Let's talk about it though because I want to see it.
But I'm not going to talk about it.
Can I just say thumb down?
Like, let's actually talk about this.
I'm not saying anything about Mickey 17. I'm not saying anything about Mickey 17. I will just say though that the kind of the thing that I found crazy is I saw it on Sunday afternoon just randomly because I had nothing to do. Went to see it, left, and saw a story that evening.
Damn.
That was the movie, and it was a spoiler about a relationship between two characters, and the person is openly talking about why this character did this and how these two characters did this thing together. And I was like, yo, if you hadn't seen the movie, this is spoiling a whole section of the film. And I was like, what are we doing? Like,
I wonder if your algorithms are just that intense and that good. Where
they figured out what I've seen already.
They're just like, okay, he went to go. They attached it to your GPS, and okay, he was over here.
I guess.
Phone, and then
possible.
times was this.
Jaws, hold on. Jaws. That is Yeah, exactly. It's a beautiful thought, but there is no way Instagram is taking all that data to be like,
Hey.
you know what?
But
I'm just saying
to somebody and say
Nope.
like, hey, I'm going to go see
I didn't.
Mickey 17.
This is the first time I've said to anyone that I've seen that movie because I specifically
having your phone in your pocket.
Did you buy it off of your phone? Did you buy it?
I did buy it off my phone, but again, I'm just saying what you guys are saying is that Instagram would then be controlling stories and their reach so that certain people don't get spoiled and others do. And I do not think Instagram cares about people that way.
I'm saying I think depending on what they think your interests are, you're gonna see.
Yeah, but how does it know I saw the movie?
Do you have a Gmail?
Well, if you purchase a ticket or if you like.
But that's what you guys are saying. I purchased a ticket, so it knew I would want. Does it know when the screening was? Like if I purchased a ticket, that's what I'm saying. You guys are saying that Instagram is going out of its way to get all the information and is putting the spoiler.
No, not Instagram specifically. Like I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like apps now are getting fed information.
Yeah, we feed the apps
for sure.
Information.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure that
they'll sell your information to other people.
So I'm sure
I'm just saying
it was like the info was like sent in a way.
But my information was sent to Instagram, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
because Instagram is the app that showed me this girl. But that's what I'm saying. I'm just asking you guys because I actually want to know because it's a concerning thing if you're telling me this is a potential thing.
But we're just talking.
Instagram would have had to have known that I saw the movie to feed me that. Yeah. If by what you're saying, isn't it concerning to know that Instagram would know what movies you saw at what time and when?
I think what's might have happened is that you get your ticket, it goes into your email, Gmail, and Google sells your information to everybody. That's how everything becomes free. You're the product, and then they scan it and see like, oh, you went to go see Mickey 17.
Yeah.
Let's give you the most recent thing that got posted up about that movie. And it just so happens it's the spoiler.
But that's what I'm saying. What you're saying is Instagram is getting the information on tickets that people buy, know what time you've seen it, and is controlling with the algorithm who sees a story that's a spoiler for a film.
No,
I don't think they do that.
I don't think maybe that's just the most recent thing and the thing that's getting the most views, and that's why it's getting pushed up.
I don't think it's like they know that you saw the movie. I think just buying the ticket, it's gonna put, like Josh is saying, it's gonna put the title of the movie in your emails and whatever. Just having the title there is gonna push all of the ads and whatever is popping up for that movie.
That okay, but either way, that means Instagram is not protecting people from spoilers then, because that means other people who
they're not gonna protect they can't regulate protecting spoilers.
Isn't that sad though? Because this lady full on spoils the movie in her story. That means other people who might be interested in seeing the movie have now had the movie spoiled by this person.
Did you get mad?
That's sad. Say what?
Did you get mad that it was spoiled or that happened?
I'd already seen the movie, so I wasn't mad.
So I mean, what I'm trying to say is that because of that experience, now we're talking about it, and now it's all about rage bait or trying to solicit a reaction out of you. But it's just, I do agree, it's a little bit weird.
I didn't react to the video. I was scrolling, saw the video, watched the 15-second clip in which she literally spoils a whole section of the movie, and thought, "Damn, that's nasty." I just saw this 2 hours ago. I can't imagine other people seeing this.
So you're saying
sorry, Ness?
Some people are ruthless. I know people personally who don't give a shit about spoiling. Like once the movie's out, they're like, it's out. Too bad. Like that's how some people are.
That reminds me of when Snape kills Dumbledore. Spoiler.
When who kills Dumbledore? Snape?
Snape kills Dumbledore. You don't remember that?
Oh, well, I mean, but those were assholes. Those were people running around spoiling it for the book. Like people didn't even read the book yet.
The book dropped.
Yeah,
everyone's in this euphoria of finally getting this book. Someone knew, like people knew something big was gonna happen in this thick ass book. Like this is the first time that book got that thick.
That was so cruel.
Boom, there it is. And then they start driving around all these people, and they just start spoiling the book.
Honestly, I thought that was pretty mean too, because I'm not a big fan of Harry Potter, and I think a lot of kids read those books excited to read and to get to that point. And one of the things is reading and getting to that point was part of the adventure, and having that spoiled. Like, for example, my buddy said he found out that Cena had the heel turn before he got to watch the wrestling because he was sick and couldn't watch it live.
Okay.
Right.
So it got ruined for him. So while watching
all the memes that were
and I get that even we talked about it right away after, because wrestling is such a big thing and it's a sporting event, so it's different.
Yeah,
but
because it's more your news reporting on it instead of spoiling.
Right. And
it was a what was it called again? It's a pay-per-view, right? Elimination Chamber was like a big So like
I mean, he got sick and it sucks that he missed it.
We didn't go to a friend's place to watch it. You're going to the school. You're going to the water cooler to find out what happened.
Well, even at that though, even the next day, the show itself spoils it, right? Like,
they let you know.
Raw is literally the next night or the night after. So
I was always just sad that stuff could get spoiled that quick, and that spoiler culture has gotten that far. Because now it's like you said, the meme culture of it. And it's one thing if I saw a meme about Mickey 17 that I would get. Like, I used to like when people would post those no context spoiler memes for stuff where it's just like a purple flute. And you're like, I get that. No one else gets it.
Yeah.
Those are funny. But man, posting a clip where you spoil sections of the movie or, doing just any of that stuff, guys, at least give people a weekend. Like, I know we reduced it from a week, but give them a weekend, not the same day. Like,
get those clicks in.
Yeah.
You gotta get those clicks in.
Yeah, because that's how
you gotta
you
watch it Thursday and spark it Friday. Sorry,
that's how you what, Ness?
I said that's how you get views.
Not wrong.
Some people do it, I think, as a tactic.
The lady's correct.
When there was newspapers, we used to say extra, read all about it. This is the news print of the newspaper. News happened.
And they had 2 editions a day. That's the crazy part when you think about newspaper back in the day. I've never seen newspaper twice a day, but that was a thing supposedly. You had the evening edition of a newspaper, and I'm like, y'all had that much news that you printed a second one later in the day?
No one had any TV to watch.
Seriously.
Or radio to listen to. So I mean,
God damn.
You have that on TV. You have the morning news, and you have the afternoon news, and you have the evening news, and then maybe the late night news.
That's true. They used to have news at lunchtime. Remember when you used to come home from lunch for your lunch sometimes?
Maybe Vex.
Yeah, you
Flintstones is done, and you have to watch the stupid news.
You want to watch Flintstones, and said you got stupid news coming on. You're like, yo, put on the Flintstones. I only 100%. Got 30 minutes before I got to go back to school. Anyways, we are off. We are off right now.
100.
See, I told you.
Say though.
Yeah. White Lotus.
Like White Lotus.
This is why I didn't want to talk about Mickey 17.
God, this is great.
I'm enjoying it though.
Great.
It's a fun watch, but it's just one of those shows where like all the characters are stupid. Like you don't.
I mean,
but like when you say stupid, like they're acting super, making very stupid decisions.
Both.
Yeah.
No, not the action. Sorry.
They did that quite a bit in season 2. No, like I felt season 2.
All the seasons are like that. It's like a suspense.
What's about rich people,
disbelief? Right? Yes, it is.
It's about rich people. It's about the 1%, and all their stuff. That
so like all the characters are unlikable, but it's not in a clever, funny way like Succession. It's like in an annoying, get to the point way.
But but in these, just out of curiosity, are these also like murder mystery type things and people are dying around them?
There is a murder from what I'm told this season.
Okay.
I know there was a murder last season. I don't remember if someone died. Did someone die in season 1?
Yes, I tell people that it's sort of like a Knives Out.
Okay. But now you're making me want to. Now you're making it sound like I would want to watch.
Sorry. Wait.
That's a very strong compliment.
But it's not actually a murder mystery, though. It's not actually a murder mystery. Like it's not in the same organized style as like Knives Out.
Right. Like
it's kind of like
picture you took the 1% and you killed someone dies, but they're all rich, they don't care, and they all just run around doing whatever they want. Only the people directly affected by the murder care. Everyone else is just like, this is ruining my day, and you're like, Jesus Christ.
Actually, a good way to describe the difference, I would say, is something like Knives Out, like a mystery murder. It's really like you're watching the characters try and figure out who murdered
Right.
person,
Yeah.
right? So like it's like this fun like back and forth, whatever. But this one is the audience is trying to figure out the murder mystery. You're not
Right.
watching them
Oh,
discover it.
Yeah.
You're just seeing things happen. All these random things are happening, and all these things are connected in somehow. And you, as the audience, is trying to put the pieces together to figure out what happened. So it's not like
those are tricky shows to get right.
Yeah.
exactly. But I won't lie, the writing is good. Like it's an interesting show. It's entertaining. I think his cast is phenomenal. Shout out to Charlotte Lebon. She's a Quebec actress who is starring in the 3rd season.
Right. Yeah. People are very excited about that.
Yeah, and she's killing it. So
One of my favorite actors I know is in the 3rd season.
Walter Goggins.
He's the guy who was like in that Tarantino film.
Yeah.
Yes,
In Sons of Anarchy there.
Yeah. Walter Goggins is fantastic.
He's also
I
in
love that guy.
Fallout,
like
right?
introverted extrovert.
He's in Fallout. Yes, he plays the ghoul in Fallout.
Yeah.
What's that religious show he's in? The religious comedy
Righteous
show.
Gemstones, which is
man.
It's funny because Righteous Gemstones season 4 just dropped their first episode again, so they're back too. So it's, I mean,
So he's doubling down right now. Then.
yeah, he's on a lot.
Yeah.
Walter Goggins is a really
He's a busy guy.
yeah, he's a busy guy. Him
Yeah.
and Garrett Dillahunt are 2 actors that I feel people don't pay attention to as much as they should. Walter Goggins is getting way more attention these days, which I'm very happy for.
The show he was on was Justified. That was a really good show.
Yes, he was fantastic in Justified. There's another one where he not Justified, but he was also a villain. He's also in The Shield too, I think.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
he was like a
he's in The Shield.
transgendered or a gay character or something like that.
Yeah. But honestly, he's
Bound
Walter
and Down.
Goggins. Yeah. Goggins is, and he had his own show on CBS, The Unicorn.
Oh,
Something
that
like
I don't.
Yeah, he had a show where he was like a widow, and all the women in like people are trying to set him up a lot. I think it only got 2 seasons, but that's another thing. Like when you get to a level of fame where people might want you for movies, but you're locked into a sitcom, I'm like, homie, don't do the sitcom. Don't be the number one on the call sheet for a sitcom when your movie career could be popping off. At least, you know what I will say. Do it for a series on HBO, maybe, but not CBS. No offense to those guys, but
Hey man, if it
No
pops off on
offense, but
CBS, you're sitting pretty for 10 seasons.
I
man.
know, but that's it. Then you don't get to
You
do
are
other projects.
golden.
Like
And also on top of that, you said he was a widower, right?
in the show, he is. Yeah,
That slots in with CBS. All the old
Hey, I hope
Dude,
he comes
I
to,
know.
Boom.
I hope he comes to Comic-Con.
It just
He's coming to
slide right in
Comic-Con?
there.
No, I said I hope. That's how we're gonna start.
I was like, girl, he's coming to Comic Con.
You
We
got
need
it
to talk
excited
about
here.
it. Yeah,
You got super
I
excited.
was like, I'm buying 2 more
No, I
tickets.
said I
I don't
hope
know.
he comes to Comic-Con.
That would be wild. Well, you got the contacts. Put some spice on
I
it.
don't have those contacts.
Put some spice on it. Drop
Put
some.
some spice on it. It's not a freaking bolognese here.
Hey,
What are you
it
talking
could
about?
Lastly, though, and a show that I really recommend is the Severance. Which
Oh yeah, it's back. I'm
Yeah.
waiting for that to end before I watch it because
My partner is watching that. She says it's really good.
yeah.
It's really, really good.
I hated the little girl in the first episode. I was like, nope, I'm gonna need
In the
this show to.
second
I'm gonna need. Sorry.
In the 2nd season?
Yeah. I saw her, and in the first moment, I was just like, "Nah, you're annoying. I'm gonna wait till this is done because I can't watch you week to week and not know why you're there. I just need to burn through this because if I watch this week to week, I'm gonna hate you more and more. And by the time it's done, I'm gonna have Joffrey level hate, where I'm gonna be like
Joffrey level.
Joffrey level hate. That child is gonna be despised for having done nothing but a good job.
Great
Yeah,
show, though.
Nothing but a good job and
Fantastic.
quit.
Shout out to Ben Stiller.
Yeah. The fact that Ben Stiller's the creator, like one of the creators and a director for a bunch of
writer.
episodes, and a writer, that's wild.
Yeah.
He's a
Wild.
pretty creative guy.
Man
I
and
know,
Jack.
but
Yeah, but this is so like I don't know.
this is outside the
you guys-
wheelhouse of what I expected.
Yeah,
for Ben
I was gonna
Stiller.
say you guys know
Yeah.
Ben Stiller more than I do, but this is definitely his out of his like usual.
From
Yeah,
the
yeah.
from the mastermind of Heat Vision and Jack brings you Severance.
Yeah, honestly, like this is the
Look
guy
up
that
Heat Vision and Jack, people. Really good pilot.
one of the first things I saw him in was the comic book movie where like they all have weird superpower.
Mystery
Man, yeah. Like that's one of the first things I remember him from, and I'm like, good lord. This is-
Remember him from
technically-
Reality Bites?
no, I actually never watched that.
Happy Gilmore.
Was he a
Happy
cameo
Gilmore?
or starring?
No, well, I mean, he wasn't. He was in between. He was the guy who was taking care of his mom or his grandma at the hospital. the
Yeah,
whole
but
time.
that's like I mean
he was stealing the
he stole
scene
the
every
scenes,
time.
but
no,
I mean,
yeah, but for
I
like
mean,
5 scenes.
I'm talking like remembering him as the lead in a thing.
Thank
No offense to him being in that movie, but when I think Happy Gilmore, Stiller's not who I think of. Like that's a Sandler film. I picture
Right,
Sandler,
he's not the creator, but he's one of the main. He's pretty much
main
the
producer.
director.
He has directed episodes though.
He's directed most of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the main director.
So I mean, even if you're not writing it, you're still creating the world and the lens we look at it through. So
yeah, exactly.
yeah, so that's fantastic. Good for him. And again, people should check out White Lotus and Severance. I mean, in a world where things look like they're burning and falling apart, and you want to disassociate, these are two shows where you get to watch things burn a little and you get to disassociate. The second one, Severance, actively about disassociating, like, taking it up a notch.
I'm sure that we're gonna have something like this one day.
Oh God, please let's not even get into the idea of. I watched a show called Pantheon where we talk about uploaded intelligence instead of artificial intelligence, and that whole other thing. The Snoopy show. Speaking of shows on Apple, that's on Apple if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Jaws, hit us real quick.
So yeah, the Snoopy show is basically another kind of like Peanuts show that's
This is
going on.
Is this in the same? They're still building a universe, right? Because we had Franklin, and we've had other stuff. This is still in this.
Yeah, like it's other specials and stuff like that. It still has that vibe of like when you watch the specials or you watch the old TV shows and stuff.
Cool.
They don't really solidify in what era it is. It still kind of feels like when the comics were made, kind of thing.
Cool.
So basically, this show more focuses on Snoopy. And then all the Peanuts characters are kind of the background people in some aspects,
Awesome.
but you mostly focus on Snoopy and Woodstock having their own like adventures, imaginary adventures, and just going crazy and being silly and stuff. But you still got Charlie Brown, Lucy, Franklin, Pigpen. It feels like there's more. They used more of the secondary characters a little bit more. So you got more Pigpen, you got more Franklin, you get more Rerun, which is Lucy and Linus's youngest brother. So you got more of that.
Really?
Going on.
I didn't even remember that character.
His name's Rerun?
His name is Rerun. Yep.
Oh, okay.
So you got more of those characters in there. And it's really funny. There was like an episode where like it's called like, I guess, Happiness is Dancing. So Snoopy wakes up and like the birds are playing music. And so Snoopy's dancing to the music and he's jamming out with people. And then Charlie Brown wakes up. The B plot is Charlie Brown wakes up and he's like, oh, it's a smile and tell day. So he has to go to school and tell them, his assignment is, this is what makes me smile. This is what makes me happy. Just like, here's a thing that makes me happy.
Okay.
I like chapstick. My lips get really chapped. Chapstick makes me happy. So he's anxious about it. He's like, I got nothing. So he's walking with Linus to school. And so Linus is like, oh, what you got for smile and tell? I brought this pineapple. And he just randomly has a pineapple. And Linus is like, do you like pineapple? He's like, no, not really, but I just got nothing. I don't know what makes me happy. And you're like, oh man.
I wonder if that's a nod to, because this is very, very deep throwback, but pineapples used to be something that people would have at parties back in like, I don't know, olden days, because they were so hard to get and so hard to get good ones that you could like rent a pineapple for your party. It was seen like an elite status to have a pineapple. So I'm wondering if it's like this is like a throwback to the idea of like how important pineapples were once upon a time.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, Dave. Are you going to ask about
define what you mean by rent a pineapple? Because in my mind right now,
you don't eat. Okay,
a pineapple is something you eat.
So real quick. This is like old. Once upon a time, pineapples were so rare and they were so important that wealthy people would rent them or buy one at an extremely high price to just have at their house. They wouldn't eat it.
Just molding there eventually.
Just on display.
Just dying slowly.
Just to show off that you could afford a pineapple was like the 1% of the 1%. Like
that is some conceited rich bullshit right there.
Yeah,
I'm going to buy something purposely so it just wilts over time.
Yeah.
We do that a
which
lot.
could feed you and probably just throw it out in the trash the second it looks too moldy.
We do that a lot. We buy flowers. Sometimes we buy too much fruits.
Yeah, but this is
and
no,
they
but this
just
is
go
different.
bad.
Someone could eat. No, I'll make it a display in my home until it goes bad, and then I will throw it away.
So the 16th and 17th century saw a number of exotic foods brought back to Europe. The pineapple became one of the most popular. There you go. 17th century, baby. Anyways,
I always learn something with Ryan in the room.
So, like I only got to see maybe a bit of the first season. So like the first episode is about how Woodstock and Snoopy became friends.
okay.
And it was pretty
Oh, that's awesome.
cute because it's kind of like how you would make a friend when you're a kid kind of thing, where someone just kind of comes up to you and they're just trying to be your friend and you're like, yo, you bugging me. And then when someone points out to you, no, they're trying to be your friend. They're trying to kind of get in with you. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Sorry.
I didn't realize we was cool like that. Yeah, come hang.
Yeah. I think
That's funny.
going back to the smile and tell thing, Franklin, he brings his grandfather's hat and he's like, my grandfather makes me smile. He says that every year brings him happiness, but the weeks can be mean. And he puts his hat on and the hat's too big and he's just kind of like, oh boy, I can't see where I'm going. So like I feel like everyone gets their moment to shine. Lucy's Lucy. Like Lucy's awesome all the time.
Do we
She
have a
just
psychiatrist
does not
scene?
give a F, just I know what I'm doing.
Do we have a psychiatrist scene? 5 cent
Yes,
psychiatrist.
she's constantly
Classics.
like her rates are super low. So like I don't know if it's still a throwback because
Where's
she's
your-
like, yo,
So
it's 5 cents. Hey, you got 2 sessions, 10 cents, hook it up.
So good.
So
That's
yeah,
funny.
it's definitely worth a watch. It does have that nice fuzzy feel. I know the music in it, the jazz music in it is new because I think the there's a YouTube channel called Digging the Greats.
Okay.
Digging the Greats. Yeah, so it's a channel where the guy breaks down hip hop or neo soul and stuff like that. And his brother is actually one of the jazz musicians on these new specials and shows and stuff like that. So they definitely want to hit those motifs from the old school stuff, but they also want to like add some new things in there. So I think that's really cool. And it's done really well. It's 2D animated. It's not using the Peanuts movie 3D animation that they had a few years ago.
Okay.
So it's kind of back to old school kind of thing.
Good.
Oh, interesting.
Good.
Okay. That's actually one of the reasons I was asking if it was still in the same universe. Sorry, Dave.
No,
Yeah,
I
it
was.
could-
I'm sorry. Go.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I'm super happy about that because like, not. I was gonna say low key, but screw it. At the top of any soapbox, as high as I could go. I'm so sick of how 3D movies are constantly 3D shows and movies are constantly being made, and it's like there's no 2D movies in the theaters or anything. Like, there's nothing that's being made that's 2D that could be a quality of a film. Annoys the shit out of me because, like, frankly, like example, when we were kids, like Aladdin when it came out and whatnot, it's like these were great things, and like I miss 2D because some 3D is just lame.
It sucks because I think if they gave the 2D movies a chance, they would also be able to put more of them out. But I feel like they think the 2D movies look cheap, that they don't want to give them as much time. Because you must be able to make a 2D movie with the technology you have now significantly faster than the 3D
100%.
stuff. So
I think
100%.
probably the last big 2D movie that might have come out was Lord of the Rings: The War of the Rohirrim.
yeah, but I don't even think we want to count that. That felt like an extended Netflix
I don't
thing.
even remember
that
that.
was more an anime, but it did come out in theaters, if I remember
But
right.
select theaters, though. I'm talking. I think
Select.
you're
Okay,
talking
excuse
wide
me.
release.
I'm talking like the
Yeah.
That was
closest
widely
thing.
released.
The closest thing I
know.
got to
Is
like a
it?
wide release 2D film was there was a Dragon Ball film not that long ago that was like between Super and the last in Z, and it was specifically it was a Gohan and Piccolo story.
Mhm.
And it's the one that I forget the name of the movie, but I know it's when Piccolo gets to like his Super Saiyan, which is like him turning orange or whatever.
Yeah, like a gold orange or something.
Yeah,
like that.
exactly. Like that was in theaters. That was like in theaters, and I agree, but like that's a massive following to like that. That's your exception. It has to be a Dragon Ball film. Like,
Well, I know there's other movies, but I would say you would get more movies, more anime movies would
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
get that. I know there was one for what's it called, Demon Slayer. I think that got a release in the theaters as well. And like I said a few years ago, was Slam Dunk, the first Slam Dunk that me and Proto Man, friend of the show, went to go see back maybe 2 years ago, maybe by now. There's still some releases, but it feels like it's more animes you would get, and it's a little bit harder to sell a Western 2D movie to people.
Sorry, I'm about to break y'all's heart with how they made that
decision.
No, the Lord of the Rings War of Rohirrim movie. It was filmed. I mean, I guess it doesn't break your heart. It is a unique approach. I won't hate on it. They used to create the effect of traditional 2D animation. Actors performed every scene using motion caption, which was translated into 3D animation using Unreal Engine's real-time game engine. The 3D environment was used to determine the film's camera angles and movements, and that was translated into a final 2D animation film.
That seems like a lot more work. Even cheaper than that.
I think it's trying to streamline rotoscoping, because rotoscoping is you film the people and then you animate on top of it, so you get like Scanner Darkly and the really old school Hobbit movie.
The guy explained he didn't want to use rotoscoping over and trace over the 3D scenes, so the reason they did all this kind of reverse engineering to create a fully 2D effect was to avoid the sense of a rotoscoping.
Yeah, and then also probably if you're doing it in a 3D program like Unreal Engine, you could change the camera angle where you want it to be, and you can probably get more coverage that way, and then animate what you actually will animate, as opposed to like, oh no, like you can kind of move it and change it to where you want it to be. You could change that camera around. That's what I could see them doing. But yeah, the Snoopy Show, totally watch it. It's super good. It's super funny. I was like chuckling. I was like laughing. I was like, oh man,
you were sleepy?
Huh?
I said I love Snoopy.
Oh, sorry.
I heard the sleepy thing.
I heard sleepy, and I was like, oh no, poor Snoopy.
Like, throw it.
But yeah, I think
just super excited. You're like low key trashing it.
But I also think
he's a beagle.
Out of all the stuff you would see related to Peanuts, like Snoopy's like the biggest character, and it makes sense that they would call it the Snoopy Show, but then also have the Peanuts characters in the background and stuff doing their thing. And the shout out to the voice actors in that, because I don't know if it's kids or I don't know if it's adults, but they all sound like you would remember these characters sounding. So like Peppermint Patty still has that kind of gruffish voice. Marcy still says sir, but still has that like little light kind of nerdy voice to her. Charlie Brown still sounds like Charlie Brown. Lucy still sounds like Lucy. Linus sounds like Linus. Like at least what you would imagine in your head or what you remember. Like they really get that really well.
Love it. Love it. I mean, Snoopy has always been an important part of my childhood, so I'm looking forward to giving the show a chance. And I do like the idea that, again, that it's 2D animation, because I am a little partial to what Dave was saying about the 3D stuff. It's a little much, and I wouldn't mind seeing a few things given that 2D classic style brought back. Maybe even do that instead of live action stuff. I'm
110% on that.
Yeah, sorry.
I was gonna say I would say that there are some 2D movies. There are 3D movies, animated movies that kind of have 2D sensibilities, at least with how they look, with the eyes, and they look more cartoonish than they do like more realistic, or like the Bad Guys, if I remember right. The Bad Guys is one of them.
True.
What was it? The Robinsons? What was the one on Netflix where a family has to fight a bunch of robots?
Right. Yeah.
So like I would hope that Gendy Tartakovsky gets to come back and maybe do Popeye or something in that vein, like where he was really melding 2D style animation and 3D, like, or maybe do something new with that or something. But there's people trying. I was going to say, speaking of live action stuff, I personally don't think you needed to remake this one, but people are excited. Lilo and Stitch live action trailer dropped. The film comes out on May 23rd. Ness, you just made a face. Were you a big Lilo and Stitch? Oh, Dave, don't do that. Give it a chance. You were okay, because my partner's nephew
is a huge fan. Has a puppet Lilo and Stitch that you can turn on and move the mouth and everything, and move the eyes and everything with your fingers because it has all this stuff in it. And I was like playing with it one day with him, and he was like super excited. So I never saw Lilo and Stitch.
I actually saw it very recently for the first time.
Okay,
For the first time? No wonder
Wow.
you're doing this.
No, do I know why I'm doing this?
he's doing this because he doesn't want the live action.
There you go.
Yeah, because he liked the original.
I'm doubling down on my 2D concept, and I'm going to say this: I've not been impressed. And I will say I have not seen some still.
This is a thing people are saying.
I don't want.
Fair.
Leave the 2D alone. You don't need to make it real.
Disney has
I don't
not
want it.
landed a solid live action from
None.
any of
That's
the.
fair.
Not a single one.
Yeah. But
Think about-
okay,
I can't say for Little Mermaid though because I didn't see that one yet.
that's fair. Okay,
I did
That
like
wasn't
Little
bad.
Mermaid.
That was pretty good.
I did
respect.
like
I like
Little
that. I like that Dave made the safe choice on a black podcast to say
No,
I haven't
no.
seen this one,
No, I haven't
and I
seen
will
it.
not shit on
Funny-
it.
I won't.
thing.
I won't show anything I haven't seen yet.
Right?
thing
No,
about
smart
Little
man. Smart
Mermaid,
man.
I was at a airport, and they have like a section where they show movies, and you could bring your little kids there, while you're waiting for your flight, and they show that Little Mermaid. And I was watching with a friend, and at the start, my friend was making a bunch of jokes, and then after a while, he got silent because he was like literally watching the movie, and he was
Yeah, that's
impressed.
awesome.
He was impressed by how the hair was moving in the water freely and
Right.
stuff. And you had the same kind of, okay, Sebastian's done like that. Yes, he's a crab, fine. Ugh, flounder, what happened?
Oh, I heard that, yeah. But that's it. So everyone has said Disney has not landed with a solid. People were really upset with Beauty and the Beast. They said what's her name couldn't sing. The Aladdin movie, people were saying, like,
Disaster.
yeah, Robin
I
Williams.
couldn't make it through that.
Yeah, no, Robin Williams is never going to be replaced. Will Smith, you tried not to replace him. You did a different version, but people, the 2 Lion King live actions, we didn't need. 2. You didn't need it.
Yeah.
You didn't need a prequel. No one understands why that
Now there's
happened.
Mufasa.
Yeah, because you got Beyonce on the line, and then you got her kid to come in. People are like, "Come on now." And now Lilo and Stitch. I will say though, as from what I remember of Lilo and Stitch, the casting of that little girl that they put for this trailer looks so perfect. I'll try and find a picture of her while you guys are talking.
The
but-
irony is out of the ones that they've done so far, and it's the reason why I defended Little Mermaid, because I was like, I thought Little Mermaid would be something that would be easier to adapt compared to the other films that they have adapted.
Mhm.
I could see Lilo and Stitch working in the sense that like there wasn't too much craziness going on. Like I feel like it'll be almost Space Jam-ish when I'm assuming that the live action is going to feel very Space Jam like.
Interesting.
Don't say that.
Which Space Jam though? Original or the
original, the good
Oh.
one.
Oh,
Like
okay.
and like,
Yeah, that's why.
I don't
want
no trash to LeBron or anything, but we know that the first one's the good one, right? Like
when you said it and Ness made a face, I was like, oh no, I think I understand why.
Something I was actually surprised about with
oh wow,
with
Yeah,
the trailer. Something I was surprised about with the trailer is the fact that
Sorry, go back.
the aliens look very one-to-one.
Aw.
Lilo, like Stitch looks like Stitch, but just in real our world kind of view. I think
Wow, she really does look like
one of
Lilo.
the intergalactic characters that you see the alien first, and you see like the head of the Intergalactic Federation. She looks like how she looks like in the show. This character, they actually show that character a little bit. This guy here, they show that guy for just really quickly. And like, okay,
Magnuson is playing Plexley.
Yeah, they didn't go crazy with it. They kind of kept it in the same vein as what they kind of look like in the movie.
The Zach Galifianakis casting is very smart.
I thought for the agent, the black agent, they would have gotten like a more swole actor.
I'm happy they went to Courtney B. Vance though, because he's such a solid actor that like Cobra Bubbles is going to be done with gravitas as opposed to just a big guy, which I think is kind of nice.
But like again,
I thought he would have been more intimidating, kind of thing.
Oh, hey man, don't
Tia
turn your back on Courtney B. Vance because he can do it.
The only thing I have for this movie is I wonder if they're going to put in all those little so like in the original movies, I guess some of the stuff they removed was like what does it feel like to be a native Hawaiian, and then you're always surrounded by tourists constantly that are just in your face about stuff. So like,
Right.
So like there's a scene that they removed where someone drives up to her and they ask her, "Hey, where's the beach?" And she points left. And then someone drives up there, "Where's the beach?" She points right. And someone goes, "Where's the beach?" She points up in the sky. Like the beach is wherever. Like, what the hell are you asking me for?
I'm looking forward because I haven't actually watched. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch the live action before I watch the original. And I know that sounds sacrosanct. I know.
Something.
But at this point, because I haven't watched it, I actually kind of want to see what they do with the live action and then go back and compare it. I don't doubt for a second the original is going to be better. I just want to see it, though.
I'm going to say this, though. If there's no ground and pound, then this movie sucks. If you've seen this movie, if there's no ground and pound, I don't want to spoil.
As someone who doesn't know what that means, that does sound sexual, but all right.
It's a UFC move, ground and pound. If there's no ground and pound,
adding UFC does not change the fact that it sounds sexual. Just
what I'm saying. But people have seen this movie; they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh boy, I do not.
Yes, you know what I'm talking about, right?
No.
yeah.
I believe that it's just I don't know the moves like that, but
like someone gets disrespected and they get put in their place real quick.
Yeah. I remember that.
Speaking of people who can ground and pound, Black Widow tells Marvel fans, "Y'all need to shut up. I'm dead and I ain't coming back." Scarlett Johansson says it's over.
Who really cared about this? Can I ask? Can we just put this out there? Does anyone really care about trying to bring Black Widow back?
Yeah, dude. A lot of people are saying they expect Chris Evans is potentially
Black Widow.
No, I'm not talking about whether or not people are like, eh. I'm saying, do we actually want to have
I'm saying no.
Black Widow back?
No.
There is no point for Black Widow. That movie, I will go on a soapbox quick.
I think most of us would agree.
Good.
Most of us would agree you don't. Well, she was a Black Scarlett Johansson was a good Black Widow. Let's not hate on her.
She was just pretty and
I mean,
looking hot in
to what other Black Widows we have. I don't.
If you've read the comic book, she did a good job at giving us the same energy and snark
except for when
Black Widow
got
had
her own movie, which sucked.
Sure, the movie
balls.
I believe you. I just
the Mad Titan balls were
for me. Her acting for me was very mid par. Like
I feel like if they did more like what they did, I guess, in the first Avengers movie, where you think you got her and you don't got her, and then same with the second Captain America movie, where she's using
Winter
social
Soldier.
engineering to hide in plain sight, kind of thing. I think that would have been more interesting, but I guess
her sister was more interesting.
I'm not talking about how bad her other movie. I'm not talking about how bad her movie was.
Right.
I'm just saying. There's a movement of people who are hoping to see her, and she has. Hey, maybe this works out for you guys who are complaining. She has said, "I ain't coming back, so don't worry." For those of you who don't want her to come back, she ain't coming back. For those of you who keep saying, "Why isn't she coming back?" She ain't coming back. She needs y'all to get over it. It's not happening. Chris Evans and Robert and all those people might be coming back. And you know what? I will say this for myself. I put more respect on her for saying I don't need to go backwards and less respect on their names for being like, you know what? Let me put the suit on one more time. Speaking of the Russos.
Some people whose suit mattered and some people whose suits didn't matter. And the ones that mattered, they want to come back.
Their suits didn't matter. They're dead. Robert Downey, Iron Man, is dead. His suits doesn't matter. He's gone. He should also not be coming back. You have an Academy Award and you're going to come back and do the superhero movie again? Get the fuck out of here. Stop coming back. Move on,
the Oscars don't pay the bills. Marvel money pays the bills.
If you were able to beat addiction, beat the MCU and get out of here. I'm tired of seeing you going back to roles. Disappointed. I saw you in Oppenheimer and I was like, wait, Downey can do this level of acting and we've been watching him play Tony for this many years? Get out of here. I'm so mad that you're going back. Anyways, Russos give non-answer about who's appearing in Doomsday and Secret Wars. Well, like I just said, dumbass Downey's going back, but a bunch of other people a bunch of other people might be coming back, might not be. Their comment was, so without getting into anything more specific than that, this is the universe we're telling a story within, meaning anyone's up for grabs. Yeah, we know that. That's not an answer. I hate when they
said non-answer.
I know, it's just annoying that they even said any. If you're not going to give an answer, just don't say anything. Why give a non-answer? Like, we all know
in the news.
I hate it. I hate it. It's so sad and annoying that they do just shit. But you're right. Here we are doing the news, and I'm talking about it. So I'm to blame too. I'm to blame.
You're part of the propaganda.
I'm part of the problem.
Next news item.
Stan Lee, tumultuous final years will be explored in a documentary. Speaking of Marvel, it's very sad. I don't know if you guys saw the clip. There's one clip where they show Stan Lee in a wheelchair being like prepared for going out. He's elderly, he's tired, and he seems slightly confused, and everyone's just kind of like rowling him and trying to get him up so that he can go talk in front of a crowd and Excelsior and all this stuff. And it's really sad to see. The guy that filmed the documentary was someone who was working on making kind of a behind the scenes story on Stan Lee, and in making it started noticing some what he would call elder mistreatment.
Yeah.
And
I
he
don't
said,
know if I could watch something like that. That's
he said that while he was making it, he broke the cardinal rule of when you're making a documentary, you're not supposed to be a part of the documentary. But he said there were times where he had to get involved because he felt like he had to do the right thing. And just hearing that alone, I was just like, that's a concerning thing.
Wild.
So I'm a little nervous about what this is going to look like because, but you know, we'll see. And for those of you who might have elders in your family and loved ones, and you know, are worried about stuff like this, it's you know, sometimes you need stuff like this to bring it to the light and remind people there are other people being treated like this, and hopefully we can, you know, put a light on it and get it and stop it. You know, was it not Mitsumi? Was it who was Mitsumi's old partner on CTV News? Brian
Bill Hogan?
Bill, yeah, I think he did a commercial about elder abuse once, and I remember when that aired, thinking like, "Oh man, I never really thought about elder abuse." And it was like when you see someone talk about that stuff and bring it up, it's just like, and weirdly enough, although I would not consider my mom elder, I have seen people now that my mom is older act like my mom doesn't know what's going on. And I don't know if you guys have been with your parents when people do that, but there are times where I'm like, someone's about to get smacked, and it's not going to be me who's doing it. My mom will take the belt to you if you keep talking out the side of your neck like that. There's a lady at a pharmacy that I don't know if she wants to keep messing with my mom's, but it's about to go down if my mom sees that lady in the streets. I'm telling you, that lady was
I definitely see it, like working in customer service. I definitely see people treating elders differently.
Yeah. People get real comfortable
impatient,
with impatient and talking to people like they don't know what's going on. This automatic assumption like you don't know what's up, it is so weird to me to see, because I'm like, I know my mom knows what's going on. She helped take care of me. There's been no slippage, there's been no loss. She still seems alert as the day is bright. So, you know, it's stuff like that we got to be mindful and, you know, take care and support those around you. People I don't want to support, though. Sadie Sink. Sorry, folks. That was a bad transition, but I needed to say it. Sadie Sink from Stranger Things potentially joining Spider-Man. Spider-Man 4. Guys, they're saying that she's going to potentially play Jean Grey, and
that makes no sense.
It makes no sense. And then the other rumor was people were like, well, maybe she'll be MJ. And I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense.
I was about to. Well, no, of course it makes sense.
No, because there is an MJ already.
No.
There is an MJ.
There is an MJ.
There is an MJ.
But they never call her Mary Jane.
There's an MJ already.
Doesn't matter.
No, I hope they don't do that. I hope they don't do that.
There is.
Think that Marvel will not potentially go down this easiest of rabbit holes? Like, are you guys serious?
All I'm saying is, if you're gonna have a 6-year difference between the actors playing MJ and Peter, and this is supposed to be his love interest, I don't buy it.
Well, I mean, maybe they might be 6 years difference in real life, but that doesn't mean that's what it's gonna be in the movie.
I don't want
Robert Downey Jr. was like 50 something and he was pretending to be 40. I mean, what are we talking about?
Oh, I can easily explain it. There's a problem in Hollywood where they have men act with younger girls all the time, and I think we should stop it. And I think that Tom Holland, being in his 30s, does not need to act with a girl who's in her 20s pretending to be his love interest again, because we do that all the time. If you're going to cast someone to be MJ, make them his age.
I mean, they're not.
30 is like, why can we not find someone his age? 30
He's
is
28 though.
And how old is she? She's 22?
I know she's in her early 20s. I'm checking.
I'm just saying, I'm tired of
22, yeah. It's not.
I'm tired of MJ. We already have one. We don't need to bring another MJ. You have MJ in the universe. Don't bring in another MJ. Bring in Gwen. Bring in anybody else. Because if don't have two MJs, it doesn't make sense.
If you're going to bring in another MJ, so does that mean you're going to bring in Uncle Ben again? Like when you already had.
What are we doing? You
already had his Aunt May be the Uncle Ben that changes him, kind of thing.
The whole point of this Spider-Man in the MCU being connected was it's not the same universe. It's not the same. Uncle Ben dies, and we're past that. We're moving on.
Uncle Ben's stuff is like all over the place, which is interesting.
Give your thumbs down, man.
Thumbs down with the girl, or just our thoughts?
Just that glass concept that Brian.
You want them to repeat everything we've seen 30 times.
I'm just saying that Peter needs a certain love. Usually needs
Gwen,
a love interest.
Betty. There's been multiple other love interests.
So you can't really use order. Like, you can't.
Why can't we have them out of order?
That's just weird.
What? Oh my god!
I think you can't have them out of order because people don't know.
The last one is MJ. It has to be MJ. It can't be Gwen because
why not?
Okay, so then we're just gonna have another Gwen die on us. Like
maybe Gwen doesn't die. Maybe he actually gets happiness with this one.
Come on. It's not House of M, Brian. Get out of here.
Exactly.
He's gonna have children next. He's gonna be Spider-Man that everyone knows about.
What?
Hold on, billionaire next.
Hold on.
What type of Spider-Man? He's supposed to hate life, and it's supposed to be hard.
Why can't we have
good to Peter?
Why can't we have House of M? You just said it. Why can't we build up to House of M?
Oh, no, you could have House of M as a movie, but you're suggesting that the person's going to exist beyond these movies.
Well, we have to plant the seeds to lead up to House of M. So,
no, because House of M is stuff happens and then they go into it. So if anything, the House of M would be like, you didn't know about this? No, that's too complicated. You're doing nuts.
Dave, we already talked. Guys, can I ask a question real quick?
Has anyone plug his mic? Take off this
Has anyone seen Civil War, the movie? Has anyone seen Civil War?
And the biggest comment is that no one likes that. Just like when they tried to do it again with Ragnarok, no one liked it. So don't do it again because no one likes it.
Can I just ask a question? Have we seen Civil War, the movie? And is Civil War anything like the comic book for anyone that remembers? Nope. Oh, Jaws, you said no, right? Dave, can you answer that question nice and
I just did. No one liked that. So
not an opinion, yes or no. Did it have the same story?
I was going to try and do something by last before I could do it.
Say what, John? Sorry.
Isn't WandaVision basically House of M?
And isn't it wonderful that supposedly in the comic book recently, I don't even know if we mentioned it a couple weeks ago, in the comic books that is connected to the MCU films, the TVA has Wanda in suspension. She's not dead. She's possibly alive in the MCU universe. Isn't that interesting that Wanda's still alive?
You doomed us all. You've doomed us all.
We bring in Sadie Sink to pay Gwen.
Things that no one wants in the ether, and then it happens. He decides to do it.
So when
we do it, he does. But when he does it, he has this devilish look, laughing maniacally, doing this exact pose every time. This is the face that when someone is going to offer him powers, he's going to be like, what can I do? And then he destroys the world 2 seconds later. This is what Brian does.
Jaws hit us.
Question. Suppose that doesn't go anywhere. Like, even it's connected to the comics and they don't use it, blah, blah, blah.
True.
How many Spider-Man movies are we going to get into where, like, they get Spider-Man to meet up with the devil and then he makes a pact with them to reset everything?
I mean,
like he does in the comics, where it's like,
What
hey,
is- what-
Peter Parker
Ze-
finally moves on with his life.
What's
He
it
has a
called? Zero
family, he has a
Day?
kid, he has a business.
I don't remember.
One new day. One, I think.
Yeah, and then he just says, "I want to make it go all the way back," and it's just like, why is everything reset? Why
Well,
why
the
can't
rumor.
Spider-Man-
Another rumor for the fourth one is that it's gonna not
Brand
be
New Day. It's called Brand
not
New Day,
gonna
sorry.
be a street level villain.
I know. I'm worried about that. It
A
should be.
little-
I'll say this: Daredevil, with the amount of Spider-Man nods we're getting in these 3 episodes, it doesn't make sense that Spider-Man isn't fighting street level. You have the perfect opportunity to reset Spider-Man. He's done all the big already. He's done Infinity War, all that stuff. Let him do the street level stuff as Spider-Man, as a young man in college on the streets of New York with Sadie Sink on his arm for some reason as Gwen Stacy. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, because they're hiring a redhead to be a blonde, right?
They did. They hired a blonde to be a redhead.
easy
done
to
it
dye your
all.
hair.
They've done it
Easier
all.
to dye your hair.
I don't know about you, but you guys might not like ScarJo, but she's blonde and she was a redhead for 4 or 5 movies. That's I'm
Easier
just
to dye your
saying.
hair.
Dave, are you gonna throw some logic around? We throw some logic around.
Oh yeah, now selective logic.
just saying.
that's what he's doing it again. He's doing it again.
Spider-Man Brand New Day, where we make a deal with the devil, or which is kind of what
With
the last.
Mephisto.
Well, we already did that though. Brand New Day was essentially the theme of the last Spider-Man movie. He tries to get his name erased so that no one is not.
Well, no, in the other one, he's trying to.
You can't do full Brand New Day though.
You can.
You're gonna full Brand New Day. For those of you who don't know, Brand New Day is the comic book storyline. Amazing Spider-Man, published in Marvel 2008. It chronicles the start of Spider-Man's adventures in the aftermath. In the aftermath. I lost the part. In the aftermath of status quo, altering One More Day storyline and continuing afterwards into Spider-Man's big time. So the whole story is about how he has essentially anyone who remembers who he was.
Doesn't. No one who's met him will remember who he was.
Right, which is because he had revealed his face during Civil War.
Yeah.
Guys, I think what we were trying to do in the last movie.
Yeah, in this one,
The last movie already did it. You can't do the same
this one,
exact
it
story.
might be something different where he does a deal with the devil so that he can get all the things he wants back.
Ooh, I'm down for that. If he's trying to make a
That's
deal with the
part-
devil
that's
to
part
get
of that
back
too.
at least the life he had before.
Because if I'm not mistaken, there's a story arc where he has to give up. I think it's
He gives up his relationship with Mary Jane.
Mary Jane in order to get May back.
Right, which was a mistake, people
Yeah.
said, but yeah.
But that is what I would expect the Mephisto thing to be.
I'll say this.
If it's Mephisto.
Spider-Man being lonely makes sense. He doesn't have Aunt May. He doesn't have any of his friends. And essentially no one remembers him.
Yeah,
Not
well,
even
I think
Favreau doesn't remember him.
I think
Yeah.
May knows him.
well, she's dead in the movie.
I forgot. Sorry.
And Favreau didn't recognize him, right?
Right. He no one remembers him.
No
He has
one
Tony Stark
remembers him.
hacking, nothing.
He is completely alone in the MCU now. He's just Spider-Man. He shouldn't reveal his face. No one needs to know who he is. If we're starting from that position and Sadie Sink goes in, first of all, she definitely, God be willing, she doesn't play Jean Grey. Makes no sense.
It makes no sense for her to be in that movie. But you know, it's
Yeah, a little
funny.
bit. I know I don't really love her for it, but
Oh, wait. No, I was going to make a comment, but that didn't make any sense. I'm going to undo
she's
what
a
I just
famous
said.
actress. That's the reason they want to toss her in.
Yeah.
I'm happy it's not
So
Maddie.
tired of them doing that.
Yeah, I'm happy it's not Mikey Madison because Ness, the rumor mill about house chef's kiss, beautiful.
You know what I wanted to
Beautiful.
be? You know what I would want to see in a new Spider-Man movie? A new character, somebody playing Ursula Dikovic.
Who's that?
Remember the Spider-Man 2 and 3 movies? She's the girl that likes Peter.
Oh,
Oh,
the
the
next
king.
redneck
Ren's daughter?
just this sweet
Landler's
girl. Just
daughter?
doesn't care that he's Spider-Man. She just likes Peter for Peter. Bakes him the cake because he's feeling down.
That's a good
Oh,
woman
man.
right there. That was a good woman.
Treated like that girl like
The amount of people,
shit.
the amount of people who say she should have been his girlfriend the entire time is so funny because the internet's just like Ursula was a good woman. That was a good woman right
Exactly.
there.
Sleeping on a good person, sleeping on a good woman. He was like, you know what, this is a good cake.
Chasing after these models and these other crazy people.
Yeah.
You know who was at the house? The one who cared. The one who cared.
She didn't,
Anyways,
she didn't care he was late on rent.
yeah, I
She just
know.
loved Peter for
She
Peter.
didn't care he was broke.
Even their stump.
I like
the man
the,
that he was.
I like the idea that Spider-Man is like a lazy boyfriend who sleeps on the couch and plays video games, doesn't pay the rent, and Ursula's just there like, that's my man. I'll still take
He's trying. He knows
Secretly-
he's trying.
secretly, though,
this
he's
guy's beating up,
Spider-Man.
he's sweaty.
Yeah,
He's running
yeah,
from something. I don't know what he's doing, but like I don't know why my dad's just on his ass. All
This
the time.
version of Spider-Man is hilarious, in which she just thinks, he's trying. I see him
Yeah, he's
coming home
trying.
late at night, sweaty, bruised up. He must be doing something out there. And she's just like, I still love him for who he is. Fantastic. I would watch that. It's so funny. I have one more piece of news. Speaking of Black Don't Crack, I know we didn't actually speak about it, but she will forever be ageless. Nicole Ari Parker, the who is married to Bokeem. No, not Bokeem. She's married to. Oh, her husband is famous.
Oh yes.
But
Yeah,
hold
she
on.
doesn't age.
Bo
Yeah, what's his name?
Bojang? Bo shit. I
Hit-
think
Boris.
her-
Boris.
Boris.
Boris, that's it.
What's his name?
That man is
Boris-
that man is very handsome
I don't know
too.
how to pronounce his last name.
Kojak? Starts with K, right?
Koji? Code
Kodjo?
Kojo.
DJO.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we just take a moment? Nicole Ari Parker. She's joining the cast of
Oh, but you got
HBO's.
work done.
Shh. They don't need to know that, Ness. Don't spill the secrets. Black don't crack. Don't tell them.
It's been a lie. It's been a lie.
Like she didn't need it.
True. She's definitely had work done. You can tell, but I mean,
Yeah. Whatever.
To fix the cracks.
Black don't crack. It doesn't crack, but sometimes you just need to maybe polish and
That's more than polishing.
It doesn't crack. It just gets rough. Is that what you're trying
it
to
just gets older. It just gets older. It doesn't crack. It just starts to look a little older. Is all I'm saying. And sometimes when something looks a little older, you gotta, you clean and you buff, and then it's shiny and new.
Not a fucking
She's
bump
gonna
to
be
a
it?
cock, right?
In this case, you inject Botox under the skin, and so that the muscles don't move for some reason.
Did you say what she's gonna be in?
She's gonna be in Green Lantern HBO series, starring another light-eyed black person, our friend Aaron Pierre, who's gonna be over there being Jon Stewart.
Love
So
him.
Oh, she's gonna be Vixen.
she's not gonna be Vixen. We don't know who she's gonna be yet.
Carol Danvers.
We don't know who she's gonna be yet.
I think.
Oh wait, it says she's gonna play his mother, Bernadette.
Oh.
Okay, that's not what I expected. Oh, that's rough. I did not
Like,
expect.
love interest, isn't that?
Hi, Mrs. Johnson.
Oh no,
She comes on screen,
That
butt
feels-
teeth and all.
that feels
Gray
disrespectful.
hair.
Hi, Mrs. Stewart.
It's cracking today is all I'm hearing from that.
You know what though? The amount of people, unfortunately, we didn't get to talk about. We're about to end right now, but the amount of people thirsting over Invincible's mom, Debbie. Like I've seen people create edits of Debbie, and they're
Debbie?
thirsting over Debbie on Invincible.
We didn't even get
And
a chance
I'm
to
like-
talk about that.
I'm like, y'all are nasty. But if you're thirsting over Miss Stewart,
But isn't everybody thirsting over Aunt May in the MCU?
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because it's Marissa Tomei, and it
Hey,
doesn't
man.
make effing freaking sense.
If Aunt May and Miss Stewart want to come by and have a cup of tea, I am here. Pinky
I like
up.
how
oh my God, this is this next Pornhub thing. where it's-
I like how
Pinkies
someone took
up.
all the images of all the Aunt Mays and put them all together, and like they are all the same age. It's just
yeah,
one generation is drinking water and the others aren't.
yeah.
One's staying hydrated and the
That's
others aren't.
so wild to think of. Guys, we went a little long this week, but it was a fun one. We didn't even get to talk about Invincible, but we did go through a bunch of great things.
It'll be the final next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about him next week. But once again, White Lotus Season 3, The Severance Season 2, Snoopy series on Apple TV, Daredevil Episode 3, and we'll come back and talk about Invincible soon. And then for all the headlines, you guys can just continue to watch the show every week. We'll bring it back with more stuff soon. Jaws, anything you want to tell the people?
Check out Transformers Slag and the Toy Marta podcast with Aaron Archer on YouTube.
And guys, well, Dave, you're not here next week.
I am not here next week.
So we are going to be here next week. The week after is going to be a special event episode, and then we'll be back with more. So make sure you guys stay tuned in and checked in. And don't forget to follow MTL Movie Club. If there's going to be anything coming up soon, you'll get to find out over there. Don't forget to follow us on socials, and also check out our website. I mentioned it at the top of the show, geekcypha.com, GEEKCYPHA. Guys, that's the whole show. We are out. Peace, y'all. Have a good one.